Welcome back. You're still watching Network Africa. Now, the Rio Olympics are scheduled to hold in various parts of Brazil from the 5th to the 21st of August. But we understand that the preparations for the Olympics has been a disappointment, with complaints being made about the Games Village. We also understand that some of the problems include blocked toilets, leaking pipes, exposed wiring, darkened stairwells where no lighting has been installed, and dirty floors in need of a massive clean. However, Rio's Olympic organizers say such teething problems plagued all Olympic Games and promised that adjustments would be made to resolve the problems in time. Joining us to answer the question about if Rio is actually ready is Channels TV sports correspondent Yemi Adebayo. Yemi, we're very glad to have you on Network Africa.
Thank you very much, Cynthia.
So Friday is literally, what, 4 days away? Based on what you're seeing now, do you think everything will be good to go?
Everything will be good to go. You know, usually before a big event takes place, you know, Olympic is by far the biggest sporting event in the world, and you can understand the apprehension. But you see, the city of Rio is ready. Brazil is ready. I heard what you said in your intro about, you know, the Games Village not being in tip-top shape. The Australian delegation that complained to the global media, see the same guys that went and said, okay, now Rio is ready. So you're going to hear all of those stories. And I do sympathize with the local organizing committee, because the Western media seems to play up some of these things when it comes. You know, I remember the things they said about South Africa, and we all know it's history now. Yes. South Africa hosted a very good World Cup. And so all of these things will come. And if you know that just 2 years ago, Brazil successfully hosted the World Cup, I mean, there's really nothing to fear. So, the IOC president visited the Games Village a few days back, gave them a pass mark. In spite of what has been written and has been said, tourists are there in Brazil, enjoying themselves.
Speaking of tourists, they might be enjoying themselves for now, but let's just flash back. Remember when it was just a month to the Rio Games, and then police said, we cannot assure or guarantee that you will be safe.
100%.
That's what they were telling tourists. So even though things seem relatively peachy right now, do you think that anything might happen in terms of protests?
All of those are stopped. You know, some months back, you know, doctors, workers. I mean, you know, it happens in Nigeria too. That's the best time to protest, ask for an increase. But you see, all of those things have stopped. And, you know, if you do a timeline, maybe 1 year back, political turmoil, security issues, then the Zika virus. But all of those things seem to pale into insignificance, because what we are talking about here is the biggest sporting event of the world, and that's the Olympics. And so all of those things, you don't hear them anymore. You saw the Brazilians do a security drill some time ago.
Yes.
You know, they're trying not to sound arrogant or cocky. But look, they got us covered. And if you're going to Rio, anywhere you are, security or health, whatever, they got you covered. But of course, it's only God that can give you 100%. But these guys, they're even working with the French police. They're working with, you know, some time ago, some people said Brazil could be a target for the terrorists. And they're not taking that lightly. They're also working on it. So I don't think anybody that wants to visit Rio, either you're an athlete, you're an official, or you're just a tourist, I don't think anybody has anything to fear.
But yeah, I don't think when we looked at what happened in South Africa when it hosted, for instance, they didn't have this issue of the Zika virus. That's one of the major things that's getting people a bit worried.
Yeah.
My question is basically, bearing all this in mind, the Zika virus, what police have said, even though we're seeing an improvement in security, do you think it might affect the performance of the athletes, bearing all that in the back of their minds?
No, it's not. If you're thinking of writing your name in gold, you wouldn't think that. Usain Bolt for one, Tiranish Dobaba, David Rudisha, all of these guys that I've mentioned have the opportunity to write their name in gold. Phelps, the swimmer, I just forgot his first name now. All of those guys that I mentioned, Usain Bolt, for instance, wants to be the first guy that's able to do the triplet, win it 3 times, back to back, without any break. So these guys have been training 4 years ago. None of them, they're not even thinking about their health. They're thinking about posterity. And what you do in Rio guarantees posterity, because what we do now echoes in eternity. So those guys are all the athletes are not even thinking about those issues. They're
Well,
thinking of breaking records.
I can definitely take your confidence, because we know for certain that one of our correspondents, Austin, will also be live in Rio, so he's not afraid either. Thank you so much, Yemi, for joining us. We've heard what Yemi has to say about the Rio 2016, but we also want to know what you would like to say about Rio 2016. How do you think that the Rio 2016 Olympics will play out? We'd actually like to hear your feedback on Twitter. The handle is right there on your screen. Thank you so much for watching Network Africa on Channels Television. I'm Cynthia Are.